on it because I never played it.
Well, you don't have
I like the idea. I don't think we'd all commit to it though.
I just beat 20 mode.
Oh, I
Holy
It's a
shit.
lot of work.
I'm the best at the game. Oh my god. Hey everyone, this is Syntax, and today I'm going to be showing off the actual gameplay footage of me somehow managing to beat Mannequin Warehouse 2 on 2020 mode, or all 20 mode. My plan for this video was just to show you guys the raw footage first of me actually beating 2020 mode, and then afterwards I would go into more specific detail about some things you have to do on the night that might help you if you're trying to beat 2020 mode and get on that wall of fame. Just a fair warning, I did beat 2020 mode while I was in a party with some of my friends. I was only playing it just to practice for when I actually tried to record it later, but then I just ended up beating it. So all of the stuff that we were talking about and all of the background noise is also in this clip that I'm about to show, and you know, we kind of just talk about whatever we want, so just be warned. But anyway, without further ado, here is the raw gameplay footage of me beating Mannequin Warehouse 2 on 2020 mode. Enjoy. You wanna watch play 2020? I fucking lose miserably.
Yeah, the guy who's like coming up with theories and stuff, and
Oh. Hooli. I mean, I think he played the map.
You're supposed to enter this area because they never showed like an entrance, and everybody always speculates it's right here, but I really think it's gonna be like right here next to parts and service.
I speculated that it's near the bathrooms too. I mean, yeah, I think so.
There's one thing I will say that I don't, dude, like, one thing about FNAF that annoys my soul is how everything's so, like, out of order in time, like, in the storyline. Like, isn't FNAF 1, like, after FNAF 2 or something? I don't even know, dude. I don't know how all that shit even, like, works.
Scott
I had to piece it together, and I'm pretty sure.
Friends with, Scott became friends and got inspiration from a guy who ran a showbiz pizza place before he made the first game. I don't know if you knew that.
Did not know that.
Give you permission so you can look around the map.
I think also the reason why I made the game was because people were saying his characters in his original game, Chips Lumberg or whatever you call it, look scary. Like look like scary like robots or whatever. And so he just took that and ran with it.
He did.
And it paid off.
He wasn't expecting it to like blow up though.
What if there
I'm
was
glad
only
they
FNAF 1?
In the show.
Only FNAF 1. Which sucks because that's, in my opinion, my least favorite one.
I feel like the fandom, and I mean even companies would have probably considered buying it. Because even FNAF 1, I mean, that game took off.
It's Freddy's really took off, but in my opinion,
I already said this, but
no one can do it better than Scott did.
I feel like the first game is one of those things where you can never experience again. It's like you had to be there.
Nostalgia.
Alright.
That's actually so freaking nostalgic. When they came out with like merch and shit, and like the cards.
I don't have any FNAF merch at all, believe it or not.
Few plushies, and I have
anything.
like all of the fucking original FNAF 1 figurines.
I had the little tiny figurines, but I lost them all. The only one I still have is a Foxy one, and his arm is broken off, and he's missing an ear. I threw the
got
Golden
the
Freddy one in a
remastered versions
closet, and
of
it
them?
just disappeared.
Because
I gave the Chico away, and the
Funko
Endo got
ones?
chewed up by my dog.
Freddy's game.
Dude,
They all
okay.
had graphic deaths.
I wonder how he got the idea of the noises they make, dude. Because the noises of the animatronics.
With noises.
Though, oh,
Horror
real?
was like,
Okay.
He did just get all the sounds from like, well, maybe like most of them. He got them from like websites.
Did he actually?
He paid for them. Yeah.
That's cool.
Make it so well.
The jump scare sounds from an old movie.
The thing is, though, is like the game is pretty well done.
But you don't like the first one that much.
Hmm.
Up for thinking it's.
Yeah, I don't.
Am I fucked
truly
up
don't.
for what I thought earlier?
But I will give it its credit for being the scariest. I think the FNAF one is the scariest. And nobody can change my opinion. I truly think it's the scariest. And I will forever say, no matter any
fucking
opinion.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Which one?
You yesterday said it was the worst Five Nights at Freddy's, and now you've changed.
I didn't. I never changed. What are you on about, bro? You sound stupid. This shit's pissing me off, dude. I never said that it is the worst. I said it's one of the worst.
There's the first ever version of something to be one of the best versions because it's the original. Like Michael Myers, for instance. The Mask, they could never replicate, and it was the fucking best one out of all of them. And everybody will say that because the original one was probably the most scary.
Alright.
Imagine not being able to recreate a mask.
Really think they would be able to recreate the Mask? It took them 30 fucking years to recreate the Mask and have it faithful.
What happened to the original
30 years.
mask?
It was yellowed and destroyed because the person that kept it was a heavy chain smoker. For this, I don't know. I'm a horror fanatic.
Oh my god. That's funny. You're the best.
What if we all just collabed on one big FNAF game?
Does anyone need their island? Because I can leave if you need it.
Oh my god, yes please.
What if we all?
Your bite or was that Chowder?
What?
That was me, that was
All collabed and made Security Breach.
Well,
Because
probably wouldn't really do good on it because I never played it.
Well, you don't have
I
to
like the
play
idea.
it.
I don't think we'd all commit to it though.
I just beat 20 mode.
Oh, I
Holy
It's a
shit.
lot of work.
I'm the best at the game. Oh my god.
What?
I beat 20 mode on my map.
Just now?
Yeah, just now.
Congrats.
Now that is raw footage if I've ever seen it. I forgot about all the stuff we were talking about. So again, a little bit of uncensored syntax for you, but that was it. That was me beating 2020 mode. There was some strategic gameplay, a whole lot of luck, and just a bunch of hope. In all honesty though, a good portion of trying to beat this game on its hardest mode is just luck. You have to get lucky with your guesses, and I just happened to get lucky enough times in a row. That's not to discredit all the things I did correctly beforehand, but if you are going to beat this night, it is going to take a little bit of luck. But anyway, let's look at some of the specifics that I actually did that helped me beat this night and will hopefully help you beat it as well. One of the key things I did to start off the game was look at both the camera that Trauma occupies and the camera that Split occupies for about 5 seconds each, and then when Handy came, I defended her, went back to looking at their cameras, and made sure they stayed in their starting positions. For context, on 2020 mode, Trauma's movement timer is 11 seconds, Split is 13 seconds, Distortion's is either 12, 10, or 8 seconds, and Handy's is 15 seconds to come into frame, and then 10 seconds for every move after that. And then of course you have Thalia and Melpo, who on 2020 mode will disable your camera after you check it 6 times, so on the 7th check it will be disabled for 30 seconds, and they have a 1 in 4 chance to open your doors every time you put the iPad down. Knowing how fast these mannequins are on 2020 mode, I hope you're able to understand how important every second is on this night. So a good benchmark to make sure you're having a good run is when 1 AM hits, you'll want to have defended Handy once and kept both Split and Trauma in their starting positions. Now, if Distortion gets to your room before 1 AM, you're just going to want to restart the run. It's a bad run. You got unlucky with the rolls and he just got there super quick. Reason I say that that is because if it hits 1 a.m., Distortion will either be in his last position before he runs to your room or actually actively running to your room. If you go back and watch the gameplay footage, you'll notice that I successfully defended Distortion twice before I even checked the garage cam, and I didn't check it till 3 a.m., and I'm pretty sure I only checked it like 3 times for the entire night. If you watch, there were actually plenty of cases where I hid in the closet and then immediately stopped hiding because I didn't hear Distortion's footsteps, and that let me know that he wasn't on his way, so I could stop hiding and I could go defend Trauma or go defend Split or go do whatever I had to do before he actually got on his way. You have to keep in mind that if you check the garage cam 6 times, on the 7th time, Thalia and Melpo are going to disable it anyway, so you're not going to be able to keep tabs on him regardless of whether you wanted to or not. So you're better off just guessing and hiding in the closet, listening for the footsteps, and if they're not there, going on and defending other mannequins, waiting for them to actually be there. That was a lot of specifics on how to defend Distortion. I want to move on to Split and tell you about the things that I did to keep him at bay and how really he is one of the most difficult mannequins to actually deal with. You'll notice throughout the gameplay, once Split actually left the bedroom, I put most of my left side camera checks into looking at the left hall and then checking my left door, because trying to keep tabs on his random movement is just a waste of time that can be used better to defend other mannequins. The reason I say my left hall and my left door is because if I check the left hall and he's standing there, great, I can look at him to defend him. But if I check it and it's static, then I know he's at my door and then I can open the door to defend him. I also frequently open my left door just to check and make sure he's not there because, you know, you can never be too safe with Split. Of course, every time I checked my left door and he wasn't there, I made sure to close it just in case he was in the hall, because I don't want to try to hide or check a camera with that door open if he's in the hall, because then he'll get into my room and get me. But if you check the left hall frequently and your left door frequently, you should be able to defend him fairly easily. You'll notice while I'm defending all of these mannequins, Handy gets very close several times to actually getting into my house, and because she only has a noise associated with her first movement, she's very easy to lose track of. So you just have to make sure you're checking that front door cam every like 35 or 45 seconds to make sure she actually doesn't get in. These last few tips all have to do with defending Trauma, and after that you should have all the tools to beat 2020 mode. But anyway, let's talk about Trauma. As I said earlier, Trauma only takes 11 seconds between his movements on 2020 mode. However, if you do all of the defending and timing correctly, you can make it so that he doesn't get to your right hall until well after 3 a.m. That being said, if he does make it to your right hall before 3 a.m., you'll probably just want to restart, because at that point it'll be too difficult to manage him for the rest of the night and you're better off just getting a fresh start. Now, if you go back and watch the gameplay, you'll notice that I rung the doorbell without even looking at the right hall, and that's because when I checked him at his second to last spot before the right hall, which was the main hall, I know that it had been more than 11 seconds when I checked him last, so I knew ringing the doorbell would just buy me 30 seconds without even having to look at the hall. This is actually more important than you think, because not only do I now get a break from Trauma for 30 seconds, but I don't even have to check the right hall to stop him from moving because he's not there, and it won't add to my checks for Thalia and Melpo getting ready to disable it. Once Trauma comes back from being distracted by the doorbell, obviously I have to look at him periodically to prevent him from getting into my room, but at some point Thalia and Melpo will disable that camera, and by that time my doorbell will be recharged so I can distract him even though the camera is disabled. That really is the last important aspect of defending Trauma, because if Thalia and Melpo disable that right hall cam and you don't have your doorbell distraction because it's on cooldown, you can't look at him to prevent him from moving, and he will get into your room and eventually get you. And with that, you now have every trick that I used to beat 2020 mode. Again, it did take me a couple of tries and there is a good amount of luck involved, but if you use all of these tricks and tips that I have explained to you, you should have some success with it. If you balance the amount of time you're checking cameras to prevent mannequins from moving, you're checking your left hall and your left door frequently, you're hiding frequently to listen for those distortion footsteps, if you do all of that stuff, you should be able to beat Mannequin Warehouse 2 on 2020 mode. But anyway, that is everything I have for you guys today. I really do hope this video helped you out, and yeah, this has been Syntax. Later.